Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is still rejecting from major resistance and also rejecting from this critical level here in the short term, the price of Bitcoin has just officially confirmed the largest warning signal that we've seen since the beginning of the last Bitcoin bear market. So I'll be talking about all of that and more in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on this weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is technically still looking bullish if we're looking at the weekly Bitcoin MACD. But with that being said, even though we've not confirmed a new bearish crossover in this indicator on this time frame, we are losing some bullish momentum. As I've already been talking about over the last couple of weeks, we're clearly losing some bullish momentum in the short term, basically slowing down during this bull run. And we've seen something very similar to this roughly around 1 year ago, because first of all, in October 2023, we saw a bullish crossover in this indicator, and then we saw a bull run over the next couple of months in the price of Bitcoin without pretty much any pullback along the way up until around early to mid-December. And this year, we've seen pretty much the exact same thing play out. And then if we're looking at what happened last time, once again, around December, we started to slow down in the short term, losing a lot of bullish momentum in this MACD indicator on the weekly time frame. And what came next in the price was short-term dumps and also short-term bounces. So ultimately, a lot of choppy sideways price action here on the larger time frames during a larger bull run, because ultimately, around the end of January, we started the next major bullish move after around 1 to 2 months of mostly sideways price action, just chopping around sideways. And so if history is any indication, at least based on this chart right here, it is quite likely the price will continue this cool off at least for the next few weeks or so as the most likely outcome based on this chart right here, losing a lot of bullish momentum in the short term. But based on this chart and based on what happened a year ago, this is not necessarily the end of the bull run. And we still have other charts that, of course, support the bullish market, like, for example, this 4-day Bitcoin chart with the super trend indicator still sitting in the green, which tends to indicate a larger bullish market. And this indicator only flips back into the red again, indicating a bearish market if we see a break back below around 82,000 with a 4-day candle close below 82,000. That would confirm a flip in this indicator right here. But for now, it's technically still showing a bullish signal. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, we're still playing out this bull market signal based on the breakout in the weekly Bitcoin RSI. And the last 2 times this signal has confirmed, we've seen a bull run following over the next 1 year approximately before the next significant drawdown. And this bull market signal only confirmed roughly around 3 months ago. So obviously it has played out very well so far as of right now, but it's still due to play out into 2025 based on history. And so those are the bullish signals to watch out for, and that short-term bearish signal of some sort, basically losing bullish momentum in the short term during a larger bull market. But with that being said, if I'm talking about these bullish signals, of course, I also have to talk about any bearish signals that I might be seeing. And right now, we have just confirmed a massive bearish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin chart that we need to pay attention to. Because the last time the price of Bitcoin confirmed a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame of this size, that was near the end of the 2021 bull market and basically started the next major bear market in the price of Bitcoin that lasted throughout all of 2022. So basically a 1-year bear market. But it is worth pointing out, we did have a very, very small bearish divergence, technically speaking, on the weekly time frame right around here. We had ever so slightly higher highs in the price of Bitcoin right here and lower highs in the Bitcoin RSI on the weekly time frame, roughly around the middle of 2023, as we could see. And what came next was a short-term dump over the next 1 to 2 months or so before ultimately a massive recovery later on. And so it's worth pointing out that a bearish divergence alone is not necessarily a reversal signal. Sometimes it means a short-term pullback or a dump or maybe just a sideways consolidation before eventually the continuation of the larger trend. Sometimes it can mean that and is not necessarily a bearish trend reversal signal. But with that being said, it is definitely something to watch out for right now, because usually bearish divergences are very accurate, whether they're reversal signals or not. Once again, even this signal right here still resulted in a short-term dump over the next 1 month or so. And so, of course, we need to pay attention to many different charts, indicators, patterns, etc. in order to find out what is most likely going to happen for the price of Bitcoin. And so, for example, what happened near the end of 2021 and start of 2022, it was not only this bearish divergence that helped confirm the bear market. There was also a lot of other factors happening back then, like, for example, the Federal Reserve was starting to massively hike interest rates right around here due to the rising inflation back then. And so, of course, that was one major factor that started this crash in the price of Bitcoin and really the overall financial markets. And then it was right around here, around May 2022, where we saw the Luna disaster, the massive collapse in the price of Luna, which really collapsed a lot of the crypto market, as we could see during around the middle of 2022. And so, of course, this was just one indicator that helped with the bearish price action, but didn't necessarily cause the entire bear market. So keep that in mind. There was also a lot of other factors that helped cause that bear market in 2022. And so with all of that being said, what does this mean for the price of Bitcoin? Well, it does not mean that we're guaranteed to right now see a bear market. It does not mean that. Of course, it does mean that it's very likely we'll continue to see a slowdown in this bull market and honestly likely see a bit of a dump or at least a larger sideways consolidation potentially over the next 1 or 2 months, honestly, or at the very least in the coming weeks will likely be either neutral to bearish. So basically having a major slowdown in the bull market for the time being in the short to midterm. And now, once again, it does not necessarily mean the bull market is over. For example, we could play something like that out and then see a continuation of the bull market later on, and then perhaps reconfirm a new bearish divergence by confirming another higher high in the price and confirming yet another lower high in the RSI later on. And then that could possibly end the bull market like that. For example, that's a possibility that we also need to consider. But essentially, for the coming weeks and possibly for the coming 1 or 2 months, this is a bearish signal to watch out for and will likely influence the price of Bitcoin at least in the short to midterm. Once again, talking about the next few weeks or possibly months, but doesn't necessarily guarantee a bear market. So keep that in mind. And so I would only really start calling for the next major Bitcoin bear market once we see multiple of these type of signals actually confirming and all lining up, pointing towards the bearish direction. For example, this signal, or if we see, for example, a breakdown in this indicator flipping back into the red at the same time as, for example, a bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. If we have multiple of these signals on the larger timeframes all lining up, pointing in the bearish direction, then that would provide a much stronger indication of a bearish market beginning to form. But right now, this is just one single amongst many. But if you want to actually trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take a lot of my trades over on BTNX. So I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is an exclusive deposit bonus that you can only claim using that link. So if you simply just click that link below this video to make your account and then deposit $100 and start trading, you get a $20 bonus. Or if you deposit $500, you get a $100 bonus. Or if you deposit just $1,000 USDT and start trading, you get a $200 bonus straight into your new account. But once again, that is only available if you use the link below this video to make your BTNX account and start trading on that account. And also, in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX, there is also Bybit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit as well down below this video. And if you use that link to Bybit, you can claim a 500 USDT position air job, but that is only available if you use the link below this video to make your Bybit account and deposit on that account. But with that being said, taking a look at this Bitcoin chart on the weekly time frame, and right now we're still finding a lot of resistance at just above 100,000. So like I've been saying recently on the channel, expect strong resistance at just above 100,000. Right now, that previous 102k level is once again acting as new resistance now that we've especially just confirmed a weekly candle close back below 102,000. And if we're zooming into this daily time frame right here, we also have this bearish divergence that's already been playing out for close to a week now on the daily time frame. So as I've been saying, for close to a week, expect a pullback or at the very least some choppy sideways price action in the short term as the most common outcomes, the most likely outcomes from a bearish divergence. And so this price action right here should not be surprising if you've been watching my Bitcoin videos over the last 1 week or so. This should not be surprising right now. And I continue to expect price action similar to this at least for another week or two based on this pattern right here, and especially based on this weekly bearish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin chart. because this is essentially the same signal as this bearish divergence on the daily time frame, but of course on a much larger time frame over a much longer period of time. So it will likely play out also over a longer period of time. So usually on the daily time frame, a bearish divergence might take around a couple of weeks or so to actually fully play out. But on the weekly time frame, this could possibly take potentially 1 or 2 months or so before we potentially start losing relevance out of this bearish divergence right here. But with that being said, zooming into the 12-hour Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still seeing that rejection from this previous line of support, now acting as new resistance, and that's sitting at around $100,000 if we're looking at the line, or if we're looking at this point right here, that was sitting at around $99,500. And so the moment we broke below that line of support right there, I've been saying here on the channel, this is a change in the price structure. In the short term here, we were clearly trending in the bullish direction for quite some time, forming higher lows and higher highs in an ascending parallel channel. But the moment we broke below that support, that was the change in price structure, pointing towards more bearish price action. So that is the current situation in the short term. Once again, we're looking a little bit more bearish, at least bearish to neutral in the short term once again. And I'll only start to flip much more bullish again in the short term if we can start to see bullish signals actually confirming. Like, for example, a confirmed breakout back above at least $100,000. I'd like to see that before starting to flip a little bit more bullish again in the short term, and ideally breaking back out above around 102,000 with confirmation. That'll be another bullish signal to watch out for. But for now, technically, we're looking at the very least neutral, but slightly more bearish here in the short term. And as for resistance, not only do we have this level right here at close to $100,000, we also have a bit of resistance in this area based on the volume profile indicator, sitting in between around 96,500 to 98,000 approximately, acting as resistance. And as for support to the downside, if we continue this pullback here, expect a lot of support at close to 91 to 92,000, and also based on these previous lows right here, sitting at around 91 to 92,000, which have previously acted as support. And in case you're wondering where the price could head next, if we actually break below that area of support, in that case, the next major level of support to the downside would be sitting at around $87,000 per Bitcoin if we actually break below 91,000. But for now, that is the support to pay attention to and the levels of resistance to pay attention to. But once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, even during bearish price action using things like short positions, for example, then check out those links below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.